Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zach F1 channel, and in today's video I am bringing you the post-sprint quali final thoughts, well before the live stream, of what you should do for F1 Fantasy. Now of course, like I always do in these videos, I'm going to keep it short and to the point and just summarize every single thing that you will need to know for your drivers, constructors and chips to make the best team. Now of course, before we get into it, F1 Fantasy survey, link below as per usual, get your voices heard, like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, all of that good stuff. Right, so what did we learn from Sprint Quali? First thing is, it's all looking papaya this weekend. Now, I know the actual qualifying is Norris first, Russell second, Piastri third, but realistically, looks like a triple McLaren assets are the way to go, definitely, if you can afford to have Norris and Piastri. But we'll look over the teams in a little bit, because we need to talk about the chips. So, what does this mean for extra DRS? Well, for me, I would personally believe that the 3 times on Norris and the 2 times on Piastri is what works best. Then, if you want to go for the differential, or if you just can't afford to have Norris and Piastri, I would go for Norris as the 3 times with Russell as the 2 times. Purely because Ferrari at 4th or 5th looked like they could struggle to get past Russell. So I do believe, even if Mercedes haven't got incredible race pace, which I haven't seen anything to suggest why they wouldn't have decent race pace, would be close enough to get Russell. I really do think Piastri will get Russell in the sprint race, but it looks like it really is McLaren all the way. So those are your 2 options for extra DRS. Limitless is pretty easy. Norris 2 times with Piastri, with Sainz, Leclerc and Russell. It's just your top 5 in sprint quali. Autopilot will be Norris and Piastri again. If you can't afford Norris and Piastri, Norris and Russell. Wildcard, if you have to bring in a 2 premium driver team this weekend, again, it's Norris Piastri or Norris Russell. I'll go over the cheap drivers in a second. But yeah, just make sure you're using a chip this weekend. Remember, it's a sprint race weekend. So when it comes to constructors on your teams, it really is McLaren, definitely a must on every single team this weekend. And then it's Ferrari versus Mercedes. Now, honestly, they look so close in comparison with where their drivers are and with potentially where their cars are. I really do think it doesn't matter as much this weekend. When another team also looks like they could be dominant like McLaren is right now, Mercedes and Ferrari, they're going to be between 10 to 15 points of each other. Now, I do believe Ferrari will end up outscoring Mercedes because I do think Russell will drop a few places and I don't think they'll have as much pace as they had in Vegas. However, let's say you want to bring in Hulkenberg or Sonoda and you've got Zhou at the minute and you just need that 0.2 million extra, I think potentially it'd be worth a risk it for the chocolate biscuit kind of move to go from a Ferrari to the Mercedes. So for me, it still definitely is Ferrari second option, Mercedes third option. But if it brings that little bit of cash that you need to improve a premium driver or a cheap driver, I would drop down to Mercedes. Now, I've spoken about the premium drivers, but again, I'll reiterate, it is a Norris Piastri weekend, but then the third best option is Russell, and then you have Leclerc and Sainz. Realistically, though, it just doesn't look like Ferrari are there right now, so I wouldn't really go near their driver assets as a whole. As a constructor, they still look better with Hamilton a bit further down behind Verstappen as well in 7th place. That's why Ferrari look good as a constructor. However, cheap driver-wise, Colapinto is a must. Now, he's on the old specs for Williams. However, in 20th place, he's probably going to qualify 20th as well. He just looks completely off the pace, which you should be a bit confused while I'm smiling. It's perfect for F1 Fantasy. Keep him out of the way. Just finish the race. Hope for a few DNFs in the sprint quali and the actual race, and he'll score you a few points, just like Zhou's doing, which Zhou is exactly why he's a decent driver as well. You can do the exact same thing for Zhou. He'll be 19th in both quali and the race and hope for some DNFs and see what he can do there. And then with Bottas, again, he's just so cheap that if you need to bring him in to improve your premium drivers, even though I don't think Bottas looks very good this weekend because he's qualifying too well and he'll probably drop back, it does not matter too much, as I need to reiterate again, the gap from someone like a Bottas to a Zhou or a Bottas to an Albon is significantly less than the gap from a Leclerc to a Norris or a Piastri to a Norris. So there's a reason why we have to put premium assets above the cheap assets. And then, of course, the Zhou to Hulkenberg ladder still works perfectly this weekend, as all of Zhou, Lawson, Sonoda and Hulkenberg, all for different reasons, look like great assets. Sonoda didn't look too good in qualifying. He should be able to pick up a few overtake points. Hulkenberg, potentially get a few points from being in the top 8. Lawson, same reason as Hulkenberg. So we'll see exactly what happens there. And then finally, to finish off this video, I'm just going to put a full list of everyone that you should not have in your team purely for they're too expensive or they don't give you enough points. And the list is as followed. You should not have in your team Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Kevin Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, or Alex Albon. Alex Albon a little bit different. That's because of how many issues Williams could have, which makes them too risky. But that is all you need to know post-sprint quali. You know what to do with your chips now. You know what to do with your teams. If you want to get the best points, you go with those results. Remember, if you do have a normal team, it's very much likely that you're going to drop in the ranks because a lot of people are using extra DRS like myself. But also, if you're using a chip, be prepared for some good jumps. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all could take something from this video, and I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all later. Remember the F1 Fantasy link to the survey. Please do the survey. It's looking very good so far. But anyway, thank you all so much. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.